All right, let's go over example 2, writing algebraic expressions using exponents. And this is part of chapter 3, section 1, algebraic expressions. Okay, so in our first problem, in problem A, we have d times d times d times d. One thing to make note of, when we're writing algebraic expressions, the only multiplication symbol I want you to use is the dot. We're not going to use x because that could be confused as a variable. So always use the dot when writing multiplication for algebraic expressions. Okay, so we have d times d times d times d. Well, if you remember from chapter 1, I believe, when we talked about exponents, if we have a number repeated over and over and over again, we can write that with an exponent, and we can do the same thing for algebra. Okay, so because d is used as a factor 4 times, our answer would be d, because d is our factor. And then remember, we count how many d's we have to find our exponent. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 d's. So it'd be d to the 4th. Okay? Now let's look at our next one. We have 1.5 times h times h times h. Okay, now we can't forget about our numbers, so we're going to start with that. So 1.5. And this time we're using h as a factor. And then let's count how many h's we see, and that's going to be your exponent. There's 1, 2, 3 h's, so it's going to be 1.5 h to the 3rd. And that's it. So just like when we used exponents before and used factors before, this time it's letters. Same concept, but this time we're using variables or letters.